Earlier this year, Ford launched the 2013 Focus ST in North America. It's a hot hatch with 252 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. Now that's all thanks to its 2-liter turbocharged EcoBoost engine, which is a surefire hit with tuners. Now for SEMA this year, Ford brought not one, not two, but a total of 5 specially tuned Focus STs to prove exactly how tuner-friendly this car is. Let's have a look at them. Up first, an orange ST behind me that doesn't really have much in terms of performance parts, but wears a special orange paint, black rims, carbon fiber accents, and the same orange accenting on those rims as the rest of the car. Now, in terms of performance, there's a Bojix design exhaust, Eibach R1 coilovers, an Eibach front and rear sway bar, and AP Racing 4-piston front brakes. Our next Focus ST is tuned by Steeda Autosport. Now, as you can see, it wears red paint, it has black accents, and has smoked front headlights. It also benefits from the matte black stripe that runs from the hood, over the roof, and onto the deck lid. Now, this isn't actually the most performance-oriented car that we're looking at today, but it is faster than the one we saw before. And that's all thanks to a cold air intake, a high-flow turbo downpipe, and finally, a catback exhaust that will all help the car's turbo system breathe better, ultimately creating a little bit more horsepower. Next up behind me, we've got a car tuned by Galfin Autosports. Now you might know them better as GAS, the garage in charge of tuning and fixing up cars for MTV's show Pimp My Ride. It gets a host of upgrades, many of which sit on the exterior. Items like the green wheels you see behind me, the carbon fiber hood scoop, and the multi-tonal paint. Now, the car also gets a Borla catback exhaust, a K&N air filter, a Steeda cold air induction, methanol injection system, and finally, an SCT programmer. Alright, next up we've got the Tanner Faust Edition Focus ST. It's tuned to have 305 horsepower, and anybody familiar with Faust probably knows he's a big fan of fast cars. And that's thanks, in no small part, to a host of performance upgrades, including an airbox, a retuned ECU, a downpipe, a programmer, a larger intercooler, an ACT clutch and flywheel, and many more parts that we really don't have time to list here. Now last, but certainly not least, we have the car behind me, the Focus ST CS300. It's a collaboration between Ford Racing and Cosworth. But more importantly, it makes 330 horsepower and 323 pound-feet of torque. Easily the most performance-oriented of the 5 we've seen here today, this is an exciting car because it marks Cosworth working with Ford again. Now the car achieves that power through a series of upgrades much more extensive than the other cars we looked at earlier. It gets a turbo upgrade, intercooler, ECU flash, forged pistons, forged connecting rods, high-performance head gaskets, high-performance camshafts, and many, many more. As hot hatches go, the Focus ST is sure to be a hit. Until this year, customers in the US had to choose from cars like the Mazda Speed 3 or the Volkswagen Golf GTI. There's nothing wrong with those cars, and they both certainly have their own cult following, but this one's likely to gather one too. With this car behind me and 330 horsepower, it's hard not to see exactly how exciting the Focus ST is shaping up to be.